Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the brand new, long-awaited, several time delayed Bond movie, No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's fifth and final entry as a character of James Bond. Join me down below in the comment section. What did you guys think of this film? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And before we get into the review, definitely hit the thumbs up button. Definitely hit the subscribe button. A Daniel Craig Bond ranking coming tomorrow. I'm excited for all of it. But right now we're talking No Time to Die. Let's do this. So it goes without saying, this movie's been anticipated. It's been on my anticipated movie list for 2020 and for this year as well. It's been delayed about 4 or 5 times now. We just got to the point of thinking, is this movie ever really going to come out? It finally has, and I have lots of things to say about it. So starting things off on a positive note, I think the action, the score, and Daniel Craig, it was really what makes this movie work as well as it does. Daniel Craig is fantastic as James Bond, as he always is, but with this film, he's getting a little more weathered. He's getting more like humanized in a way. I felt like he was almost invincible. Like you couldn't really take him down. You couldn't really hurt him all that much. This film's showing that his age is kind of there, and that James Bond isn't a young man who can kick ass the way he did all those years ago. He's aged, like we as fans kind of aged with him. I mean, when the first James Bond movie with Daniel Craig came out, I was 7 years old. I'm 22 now watching this, and I feel like they did a good job of humanizing him, and I honestly appreciated that. Obviously, later through the film, you get to see how just badass James Bond is, as he always has been, and the character of James Bond is just so cool. Like when I think of a cool character, I think of Marty McFly. And honestly, I think of Daniel Craig's James Bond. I mean, in this one, he has like the gadgets. Like, you've seen it from the trailers, the car with the guns coming out of the headlights. That is an awesome scene. It happens very early on. But that car chase scene in the beginning, I mean, it's shot brilliantly. You have these wide shots. You have these shots looking from the top down. It's shot beautifully. The cinematography is fantastic, and the shot selection, probably my favorite thing about the film. I mean, how they filmed it, how they shot it, it looked beautiful. It felt like a spy movie, and I loved everything about that. The score, I believe it's from Hans Zimmer. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's riveting. I saw this in an IMAX and my rib cage was shaking inside me. It's a very loud movie, but it really goes for it. Also, you have Ana de Armas in there, and she's not in it all that much. I know lots of people have been talking about this. She's only in it for about 15 minutes, but her time is utilized so brilliantly. I felt like she didn't overstay her welcome. She came in, she was very charismatic, she was very kind of quirky and silly, brought in some jokes. She's a badass character, and she said her farewell, and I wanted more from her, but I also felt like less is more sometimes. I mean, she was only in for about 15 minutes, and she's the one thing I thought of for the rest of the film. But headed into maybe some negative territory, but this movie put me to sleep. And I don't mean, by the way, like, oh, it wasn't action, it was just a terrible story, but it's a 2-hour and 48-minute movie, and with a movie this long, you have to have good pacing, and I feel this film doesn't. Started off with such a bang, right? As opening scene is down by the time the No Time to Die song starts playing. I was thinking, this is going to be the best movie of the year just from how it started. And then it continues that pace. Ana de Armas comes in all with about the first hour, but then that second hour really goes to snoozeville. I mean, that's literally where I fell asleep, and I kind of kicked myself for it, but I asked my mom, who I took me to see it with, I said, I miss anything? And she was like, I didn't even know you were asleep. No, nothing really happened. And she said to me when we walked out of the theater, she said, I feel like they could have cut off like 30 to 40 minutes. And that time I fell asleep, for the 20 minutes I was asleep, they could have easily cut all that out. Because when I woke back up and I got back into the movie, I felt like I hadn't missed anything. I talked with some people about it after, and really haven't missed much about it, and the pacing just wasn't all there for me. I'm not saying I hated the movie. I dozed off for a second. That does happen sometimes. I just want a little bit better pacing throughout the film, but when it does pick back up and the score starts going and they start having this action-packed end scene, I mean, they go out with the bang, and there's so many characters returning from the previous films. We're expecting that the stakes are going to be higher. Maybe not everyone's going to make it out of the film, and honestly, like, where are we going to end up, and how are they going to have the proper send-off for James Bond? Because this is Daniel Craig's last performance as James Bond. I honestly feel this is the best way you could send off this character. I absolutely loved what they did with it. Whether you did or whether you didn't, that is up to you. I was a fan of what they did. I wasn't expecting it, but I also was in a way as well, and I really did appreciate what they did with it. But when you get to the end action scenes, I mean, it's awesome, it's non-stop, and it really does go for it. But someone we haven't even hit on yet, Rami Malek is the main villain, and I wouldn't even call him a villain or really the main person. He kind of just this lackluster character in there that wants to kind of take over the world, which we've seen time and time again. I wouldn't even say it's his fault, because he wasn't written greatly to be a good villain. I mean, I think the villain of this film is Father Time catching up to James Bond rather than Rami Malek's character, who I quite frankly could barely understand throughout the film. I feel like they just didn't really utilize him enough. I feel like there wasn't really a main villain, certain things happening, but honestly, the antagonist of the film, in my opinion, is Father Time catching up to James Bond. Maybe everything he's done in his life will finally catch up to him. That's how I kind of took it when I was watching this, and honestly, I kind of appreciated that villain more. Maybe that's just me, but I appreciated the Father Time villain more than Rami Malek because he just wasn't in it enough to really be a villain. I did not hate this movie. I wanted to love it, and I ended up just liking it. But before I give you guys my score, definitely hit the thumbs up button, definitely hit the subscribe button, and let me know your guys' thoughts on this movie down below in the comment section. I really did enjoy this movie. While I dozed off for a little bit, I really did enjoy it. Lots of good action, a great score. Just wish the pacing was a little bit better throughout the film. Overall, for a score, I'm going to go with 3.5 out of 5. Definitely recommend seeing this on the IMAX, and I think you should see it twice in the theater. I'm probably going to see it again before the weekend is up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if I'm a freaking idiot. Let me know all that down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.